Just tied up some loose ends, getting ready to hit the road. We're actually on the way to storage right now to pick up the camper and get this adventure started. We're at Elvis storage facility on Pond Road here in Merle's Inlet, South Carolina, and just here to get hooked up so we can at the kingpin attached, safety cable on. Just doing one last walk around, make sure these are all locked, and to make sure that chocks are picked up and there's no obstructions before I take off. So this is always a good practice, especially if you're new like we are, just to make sure that there's nothing in your way. So looks like we're good. Got the truck loaded up. It's time to go.
Just go parallel. You can go, and we're gonna make it easy on you this time. We're gonna set up over there later with other boondockers.
Okay.
But for the time being, right there at the end of that connex, the far end, is where you can go ahead and fill up your water tanks.
Well, we made it to our first stop. This is day one of our trip across the country, and we already broke our own rule. The goal was to not show up anywhere at night. We didn't want to have to set up in the dark, but here we are. It's pretty dark, but we got the camper set up. It's level. We're loading it with water right now, and Misty's starting to get things all organized for tonight. I'll flip it around and show you what it looks like. Even though setting up in the dark is not what we intended, it's not what we planned at all, but we really didn't have any problems. We have plenty of room being there at a Christmas tree farm, nobody around us. This was our first night of camping and our first Harvest Host experience, and it really couldn't have gone any better. We had a beautiful spot to set up, a beautiful sky, lots of stars out at night. Misty was able to cook a great dinner, and I think everybody really settled into camping life nicely for night one. It's been a lot of fun this morning exploring the Scott family farm. We saw the beehives, the railroad tracks, the Christmas tree farm. It's just been great walking around and just enjoying the outdoors. But I think now we're going to drive down to downtown Augusta. There's a river walk there. We've never been to Augusta before, so we're going to go check it out.
When we were younger, we used to sit on the grass.
We parked at the marina, which is at one end of the river walk, and made our way into the downtown area from there. We learned that the childhood home of Woodrow Wilson was there, so we wanted to swing by for a quick visit. Woodrow Wilson was the 28th President of the United States, and is probably most known for being the president when the U.S. entered into World War I. It's pretty cool to discover little things like this that you weren't really expecting to find along the way. In addition to seeing the Wilson House, we really enjoyed looking at the architecture of a lot of the old buildings and churches in the area.
It wasn't possible to make us embarrassed, we were free. Do your parents. Sometimes we got a bit out of control. When they found out we ran from home just to scare them, we were free when we were 17.
Well, we've packed everything up from stop number 1, and we're getting ready to head out to stop number 2 in Claxton, Georgia. We do need to stop and empty our tanks. They're full right now because we've been boondocking for the last couple of days, but we found a state park about 10 miles away, so that really shouldn't be a problem. So let's get moving.
Johnny boy, put your hat back on. Now you're out there on your own. Johnny boy, you got a one-way ticket to ride, going south to find a home. Yeah. Where hummingbirds are flying in the sky, dreams are coming true.
So we've made it to our second stop here in Claxton, Georgia. We are at Bliss Hill Farms. This is also a Harvest Host location, and there's over 2,000 locations inside the Harvest Host network. Most of them are farms, breweries, wineries. Most of the locations are geared toward boondockers, but some locations actually have full hookup site. Here at Bliss Hill, we're actually in a full hookup site. So it's a great program. Most places are free to stay unless you have hookups like we do here. We're paying about $35 a night, which really is a great rate, especially for the type of atmosphere you get. We've really enjoyed it so far, and it might be something you want to check out. The main reason we're here in Claxton is we got friends who live in Vidalia, about 20 miles away, so we're going to see them tonight, have a little cookout, and just catch up. They really have done a lot to make this a nice place to stay. There's a large pond with a dock and a fire pit area and playground for the kids. In addition to these features, they have 5 full hookup sites. There's also a 100-year-old cabin that is original to the property, has been restored for use as an Airbnb.
I hear the calling of my old home, Tennessee. We don't know where these rivers flow, or why the wind chooses when and where to blow. The sun is gonna rise each.
So we're here at stop number 3. This is Jonina Farms. It's actually an orange orchard, and Misty's inside the greenhouses right now getting a tour of what they do here and how everything works. And then after that, we're gonna head out into the orchard and pick some oranges. Well, last night was a pretty interesting night with the weather. We had lots of rain and wind during the night, and at times it seemed pretty rough outside. So we woke up this morning to lots of weather alerts around. There's a storm moving in from the Gulf of Mexico, and it looks like it's going to get pretty bad later this afternoon. So the original plan was to leave here around 12 or 1, but we're going to get on the road a little earlier to try to make our way around the storm. Where we are is there are a lot of trees around. It was already pretty wet and muddy when we got here, so if all goes well, we will stop somewhere in the Destin area tonight.